Welcome back, trainers, and Gengar is finally getting a little bit of spotlight, but in a good and a bad way. The good way being it's going to be shiny. The bad way, it's going to have psychic because, well, it's going to be a poison and ghost type. There's going to be no stab. It is a one charge bar move. Shadow Ball is going to be far more superior always, I guess. So I'm set for the Gengars here. And yes, that's what the special move is going to be, and you can find a shiny. We're going to go over those details here shortly. So if you didn't know, Shadow Claw Gengar is a legacy. Legacy is a move that a Pokemon previously was able to learn, but not anymore. So if you do have one of these and you didn't know about it, go ahead and go check your Gengars if you haven't played in a while. And if you do, you're holding on to some gems right there. So if somebody wants to trade with you, feel free. If you have multiple, maybe. It's up to you, but just know you're holding on to something quite amazing. Okay, so with that said, it's not going to be Shadow Claw. When they announced this, they didn't have the move described quite yet, and I was surely thinking it was going to be Shadow Claws. It's all right. I traded so much, and now they're about to make it public, but they went Psychic. I was even thinking possibly Dream Eater. I don't know, because that would make sense, right? Psychic. But here's another thing. We can expect these kind of days in the future for other types of Pokemon as well. They're also bumping it up to a tier 4 raid, so it should be pretty interesting. It's going to require 2 people at least. Are you ready for a challenge? On Sunday, November 3rd, there will be a special raid challenge. For 3 hours, Gengar will be available in raid battles. Take a look at the details below, alright, and there are the times, okay? Gengar will be featured in raid battles. Receive up to 5 free raid passes. Now, how this is going to work is you're going to have to spin gyms, and not only that, you have to spin different gyms. So you get a free raid pass from one. Okay, you can't sit there until the photon disc goes back to the color and then spin it again and get another free raid pass. You're going to have to go to another gym simply and collect another one. All right, and if you're lucky, you may even encounter a shiny Gengar. There you go. I had another question about this. Are they going to just skip Ghastly and Haunter or release those right after the event? Who knows? Or it's just going to be the shiny Gengar release at first, and they're going to do those in another time. So pretty interesting, right? Now let's go ahead and go over counters that you may want to use to go up against this. So first one up is going to be Mewtwo, and these are not going to be in order by best. We'll talk about those later. First is going to be Confusion and Shadow Ball, and you can also have Psychic as well, although Shadow Ball is going to be so much better. So if you have that, then obviously don't change it because it is a legacy, unless you did get it between that time where the Mewtwo's did disappear. This is the first time I'm talking about this. So when the Mewtwo's vanished, you were able to TM your Mewtwo's who didn't have Shadow Ball and get it immediately, apparently. I have a friend who did a whole bunch of them, and it was just briefly. So don't try doing it again, and 2 thumbs up for everybody who was able to get those Shadow Balls in that time period. Next up is going to be Metagross with Zen Headbutt and Psychic. And keep in mind, the Psychic types are going to be taking super effective damage from the Gengar, unless it does have Psychic itself. I don't know what move it's going to be replacing, because it also does have Focus Blast, which in that case, Psychic Pokemon are going to be very good to use. You also have Lugia with Future Sight and Extrasensory, okay? And let's keep moving down the Psychic list here. Then you have Mew. A Shadow Claw probably your best option. This is not a moveset to go up against it. This is not very effective. But if you do have Shadow Claw and, say, Dark Pulse, that's going to be working excellent. You can even use Celebi with Confusion and Psychic, I guess. It's not going to be a great option. What you're really going to want to use is Espeon and Alakazam, for sure. You can also even use Gardevoir with Shadow Ball, Confusion and Shadow Ball. That's going to be great. Psychic works as well, so keep that in mind. And then it's just going to go down, so we're not going to go into those. So next up, let's go into the ghost types. Okay, so we're over here on the Gengars, and we're at CP. Now, I just can't wait to use my Spiritomb up against a normal Gengar raid, because these are going to be tier 4, so I want to see how well it can do up against the old one, not the level 4. But personally, I mean, you could use a Spiritomb. It's not going to be taking super effective damage, and you're going to be dealing super effective damage no matter what move you have, Dark or Ghost, because those are super effective to ghost types, right? Alright, so I'm going to also be using my Gengars, probably only my Gengars, Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball. Hex works as well. Alright, so Dark types, remember that. Those are super effective. As far as any others, I mean, you could use Bayonet, but I wouldn't really recommend it, considering it's a Gengar at a tier 4 raid, that's going to be doing a lot of damage, okay? So basically just Gengar. If you have a powered up Giratina, I mean, that'd be awesome. If you had Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak, I don't know who has a powered up Giratina right now or who really wants to do that. Like I said, I'm going to hold off for Garchomp probably. Okay, next up is going to be Tyranitar. This one is actually going to work very nice. Unless it has Focus Blast, which like I said, I don't know what moves this boss is going to have. So you're going to want Bite and Crunch. Simple as that on your Tyranitar. If you have a Smackdown one and you're thinking, well, how is that going to work? You're fine. If you want to use Smackdown, I guess, just make sure you have Crunch because that's where you're going to be dealing your super effective damage with your Dark type moves. That's a good option there. And then you have a Alolan Muck with Bite and Dark Pulse. That should work. And it also has Crunch. You can use that as well. Then you have Houndoom with Snarl and Foul Play, and Absol with Snarl and Foul Play. So the only thing they have to look out for is that Focus Blast, if it has it. As a matter of fact, if it has Psychic too, that's not very effective against Dark types. Alright, now we're over to the ground types. Groudon is going to be your #1 option, and it's going to be super effective to Gengar because it is Poison type. Poison is weak to ground, and that's going to be Mudshot and Earthquake on your Groudons there. And let's see what we have next. Rhydon, okay. Then you want Mud Slap and Earthquake, pretty sure. Yep, Mud Slap. Alright. You don't want to use that fighting move because it's going to be 4-time resisted to Gengar. Donphin does have Earthquake, but I wouldn't really recommend that because Counter and Tackle are both not very effective to Gengar. So Donphin's no-go. You could use Golem with Mud Slap and Earthquake as well. And let's see here. Torterra works with Mudshot and Earthquake because they can learn those moves. So if you have one of those powered up, go for it. And then anything else with ground moves. Okay, now let's go ahead and go over my team that I'm going to use. I'm going to start with my highest DPS that I think, and then we're going to go ahead and go over to GoHub and see their list to see how close I was. Now, I'm pretty sure their first one is not going to be Gengar. It's probably going to be Mewtwo or Tyranitar, but I'm going to pick Gengar because I know that's going to be doing massive damage, and I want to put my Glass Cannon in there first. So up next, I'm going to put my Mewtwo with Confusion and Shadow Ball. And then let's think about this. What can do the most damage next? Let's see. Probably Tyranitar or Groudon, I would think. Let's go ahead and go with Tyranitar for sure. Okay. Then up next, I think it's going to be Groudon. And then after that, probably Absol. I think Absol is going to actually be before that. But let's see. Let's see if I'm right here. Okay, so there's the Absol there. And then lastly, what do I think? It's going to be either Houndoom or... possibly... Yeah, Houndour. I was thinking Rhydon. Maybe even Gardevoir because of the move. Let's throw Gardevoir in there. We have Gengar, Mewtwo, Tyranitar, Groudon, Absol, and Gardevoir. And the Gardevoir, I would say, is going to need Confusion and Shadow Ball. Okay? Everything else we took a look at, right? Okay, so here we are on GoHub's official raid counter they just put out. Let's see how close I am. And there you go for the CP. Perfect is going to be 1496, and weather boosted in the foggy or cloudy weather. Yeah, cloudy weather. We have that all the time. It's going to be 1870. So take note. And okay, so let's go ahead and see top counters. Wow. All right. Gengar, #1. Perfect. So we are on it right now. Mewtwo up next. Excellent. We're still looking good. Should be Tyranitar, right? Okay. Espeon. Okay. Yeah, that's a good option for sure. All right, then Groudon. Okay, then Alakazam, and then Gardevoir. All right. And then Tyranitar. Then you have Metagross. Okay, then Lugia. I recommended that one. Perfect. So I'll leave a link to their article so you can look at all that. I just wanted to see how close I was to their list. It's pretty good. Yeah, Confusion Espeon with Future Sight is super strong, and so is Alakazam. Bit of Glass Cannons. So there you have it, trainers. The counters for Gengar. That is going to be on November 3rd. So get ready and check the time. It is going to be starting for your area as well. I am totally ready, as you can see with my backpack and hat and shirt. Also, the counters there, if you want to know just straight up what I'm going to use, probably going to go in there with Gengars, although if it does have Psychic and or Shadow Ball, the Gengars are going to get completely destroyed, so keep that in mind. Same with Mewtwo. It's going to hurt quite a bit when that Shuttle Ball comes in. If it has Focus Blast, Tyranitar needs to look out, but otherwise it's going to be a safe bet to use. And so is Espeon and Alakazam with Confusion and Future Sight like we've seen on the Go Hub. Those are going to be good unless it has Shadow Ball as well. And Groudon is just safe all around. He's just going to be able to Mud Shot all day and then Earthquake and put on some good damage. Absol is a bit of a glass cannon. I wouldn't recommend that. You probably would want to replace that with the Espeon here. Let's go ahead and just do that now. And then the Gardevoir, since I'm not changing its move, and I already have the setup for my Alakazam, I have one with Shadow Ball, and he is Awakened right there, and that's what I'm going to go with. Just whatever you have powered up on this list here, just go with the most of whatever you have, and you should be set to go. Alright, trainers, so there you have the counters, and this is going to be fun. Now, I know a lot of you are not too happy about the Psychic move being introduced onto Gengar for this 3-hour period. I know, I'm not either, but at least you can hunt for that shiny perfect, okay? Just make it about that. Look for that 100 shiny perfect, and if you can't find 100, just get as many shiny Gengars as you can. The shiny variance is very not too different, right? The variance is not too noticeable, so make sure you're paying attention when you go into the catch screen and look for those sparkles. Alright, trainers, with that said, take care, and thank you for watching.